I love sitting next to you.
So you're hating me again?
You don't even know what I'm saying.
You're hating on me again?
I'm not hating on you. I'm not hating on you.
Hey guys,
the real word.
You are tuned into episode 38 of The Real Word. I think that's how we started. That's not at all how we started. This is Byron and Lazine, this is Nicole White, and this is the show.
That's how we're starting
this
today.
This is the realest, real word, the realest show in real estate. That's what I really want to start calling it. The realest show in real estate.
I don't even think that that's like a real word.
All right.
Realist?
Let's just get into the real word then. If you're new to the show, because maybe you're new. Maybe you saw the Broke Agent show last week and you're following the BA, and maybe we siphoned over a couple of
that would be fun.
His followers.
Or maybe at the summit. You did a really good job of like dropping the real word at the summit. If you guys were at the Tom Ferry Summit, let us know.
So maybe
I met a few folks there. Like they came over, they're like, Racket. Hey, Racket.
Yeah.
Hey, real word.
We have a bunch of names.
Fun.
But maybe this is the first show. We do a main topic, then we do 3 rackets. The rackets are great, by the way. I'm looking over at them right now. They're phenomenal. But the main topic, which the news broke when we were at the Tom Ferry Summit last week.
It did break. And you got an email from Zillow directly letting you know exactly what was going on.
Got an email, which I have up in my inbox right now. You ready for it?
We're all ready.
All right. So if you haven't heard the news yet, Zillow Offers program just made a couple of tweaks. We're going to get into one of them. I'm not worried about the other one.
Not right now.
But this one has some people worried.
Yeah.
Zillow acquires Mortgage Lenders of America. Do you think, Nicole, before we get into actually what this means, does this even concern you one bit?
No, I mean, at this point, I feel like all of these things are natural progressions for Zillow at this point. I mean, they're making it very clear with the things that they want to do. They want to buy homes. They want to, do all those things.
They want to make it easier for the consumer.
Yes, I mean, this is just the next step. I mean, if this is a big surprise, it shouldn't be, but like,
so this is
just
what happened.
It's just the next thing. But I will say though, it seems as though, and again, maybe we're sort of speaking out of turn a little bit here, but as soon as this happened though, Zillow stock dropped. So people were a little
10 bones.
They were a little worried about it. I don't know where it's at now. I don't know if you've looked, but
I'll look right now.
We don't really necessarily need to, but it was interesting that it hit. We were at the summit. Stock dropped on it. The Zillow guy was emailing you. So a lot of things were happening.
You can come in. You can come in, Nate. We've got some visitors here on The Real Word. All right, so this is actually what happened. Zillow Group has entered into a definitive agreement to acquire Mortgage Lenders of America, a national online mortgage lender based in Overland Park, Kansas. The acquisition will allow us to provide buyers of Zillow-owned homes with a faster, more streamlined mortgage origination experience. So faster, more streamlined, thinking about the consumer. As you know, obtaining a mortgage is one of the hardest, most complicated parts of buying a home. Would you agree with that?
100%.
Our co-lender program remains, so this is Zillow, our co-lender program remains part of our business, and this acquisition will have no impact on the program. We expect the deal to close later this year. So this is a direct email from Zillow to my inbox summarizing, and you know what? I have a blog post here that they talk about the update, Sam.
Oh, that's fun.
We'll link that up. But this was a summary.
Yeah.
One that I could actually consume, so I appreciate that, Zillow.
Yes.
So they're not looking to get rid of the co-lender program, which we actually use. We're Zillow Premier Agents, and we have a co-lender, whatever they call that, the co-lender program on there to supplement some of the advertising costs.
Right.
They're not going to cut into that. They're literally just offering this service for the people that are buying the homes.
Why not? Why not? I mean, why not? Again, when we were at the summit, they actually had Zillow on the stage, and I'm going to butcher the numbers, and I apologize, I don't have them sitting in front of me, but they were saying that originally when Zillow was feeding leads to realtors, it was something like 40% of the real estate agents were actually getting back to the leads. And then the moment that Zillow started doing, which the whole premier agent, and now they have a concierge. So now that Zillow is actually reaching out to these leads, sort of talking with them, scrubbing with them, there's like a 99% rate.
95,
Yeah, that they're now getting back to these leads. So I don't blame Zillow. I mean, they're just reacting to the fact that
what consumers want.
Exactly. People are going onto their site, they're reaching out. Unfortunately, agents weren't responding. So why not try to capture some of the mortgage end? Because if that's what they need and that's what they want, and we're not providing it to them, they will. Why not? Because that only just builds the beast bigger. It all makes sense.
If it's not fast enough, if it's not frictionless enough, consumers are going to go to where it is.
Right.
So by Zillow providing this service and, oh, by the way, keeping the agent involved,
right,
is a really good thing for agents, in my opinion.
100%. 100%.
I think that you could play devil's advocate here, and you could say, wow, they're really collecting some data here because they're going to own these homes.
But everybody is. If they're not, like,
and the
Facebook
buyer,
is, I mean, come on.
And the buyer now is going, but this is like real in the game.
No, I
data.
hear
this
you.
This is like Amazon up in the cloud data
right,
concerning real estate. Like, they're in the game now. The buyers of these homes are going to be using their mortgage company potentially. I mean, they're really cornering it, but everything they say they do, I go back to that. Watch what they say and then watch what they do. So far, they've been very, very upfront. So I'm going to continue to take them at their word,
right,
and continue to, what we've always said, build brand that doesn't rely on Zillow.
Right.
Something that I think I mentioned when I was out there. Build a brand so you don't rely on Zillow and Trulia leads, but be aware
right,
of what they're doing. I think anyone that says, oh, just ignore them and put your head down and work, they're also not, taking into account that you need to understand this because the consumers are using Zillow. So I think you got to pay attention.
Yeah, I think that if you were smart about it, though, you could actually utilize Zillow to like leverage your business too if you do it properly.
Let's do the Rackets, because I'm convinced that Nate Dogg did not walk into the real word to hear about Zillow.
Oh, right? He may have. I feel like we weren't done with Zillow. Are we done? We're done with Zillow?
They have another
That's
update,
it.
but this is more. So the second part of this, and it'll be in the link, the second part of the Zillow news is they are getting a real estate broker's license in Arizona because Arizona is making them for the Zillow Offers program.
Yeah.
They will do that in any state that requires them to get a license. But
I feel like they should. I feel like that's the right thing to do. I think Arizona's right on there. I mean, you don't think? Unless they're calling themselves unless it's going to be like a FSBO type. But anyway.
They're still listing.
It's very interesting.
And they say it here, even in Arizona, they're going to list with a premier agent. What do they need a license for? They're buying and listing with a premier agent.
True.
So do you think every house flipper needs their license?
That's fine.
I think Arizona's trying to make it hard on them, and they said, hey, gotcha, we got somebody that can do that.
I do want to make one side note, though, too, because when we were at the summit, there was a Bank of America gentleman
Arizona
there that
must need their $500.
Well,
maybe that or Greg Hague's got them.
Ooh.
Little Greg in Arizona.
Hi, Greg. But anyway, back to the Zillow thing real quick, though, and it's sort of like a side note. But I think it's very interesting, though, because, again, the Bank of America guy was on the stage during the summit, too. And even Bank of America is trying to ease the whole
and I believe
mortgage thing, which I think there's going to be a huge shift. In all honesty, I feel like this kind of stuff is going to make all the other industries sort of shift and all the other companies sort of shift a little bit. And hopefully it'll be for the positive.
Watch this. I believe the big banks are going to be in a really good position over the next few years to make the mortgage process very seamless because they have so much money behind them. They have so much tech that they can
Well, there's so much tech. Come on now. I mean.
But I think they're going to be able to pull it off. Like these 14-day closings.
The fact that you still need to fax your entire sheet thing is like redonkulous.
I'd be looking out for the big banks getting bigger 100%.
Holla.
Racket time.
I'm ready.
I got to bring up the article.
Go ahead.
All right. So this one was interesting. You sent it to me.
I did send it to you. And I feel like this is a huge, I feel like this has Byron written all over it.
It made me so happy. Households with college students are twice as likely to experience foreclosure. Now, I'll say that's not in every case, right? But twice as likely
is
super interesting. I don't have a college degree. I've shared my story on Timex. I certainly went through it, buying 3 houses, 19 to 21. So, just making tons of mistakes as an entrepreneur. So I don't think you can say, hey, this is going to be the way it goes.
No.
But this is an Inman article.
It is. It's very interesting. It's very, very interesting.
Economists have long believed that unchecked subprime lending caused the Great Recession and housing crash that followed. When jobs vanished and the stock market tanked, risky borrowers of those loans began losing homes. Foreclosure rates spiked, but new research by Jacob Faber, you think? F-A-B-E-R?
Of NYU.
Of NYU, and Peter Rich of Cornell reveals another culprit behind the foreclosures: rising college attendance rates and costs. So here's what I know, one thing that I know for sure.
Yes.
When people get down on their situation in life.
Right.
Maybe they bought a house in the last peak. They weren't happy, maybe a couple years later they weren't totally happy. They realized it wasn't their dream home, but maybe they're just not happy with life. Mm-hmm. When people get feeling like that, they tend to lean towards something that can fill that space, whether that's buying new shoes that only lasts for maybe a week that makes you feel good. Maybe it's buying, clothes, a car, whatever. But it also is, I'm going to go back to school and all my dreams are going to be answered. I'm going to go to college, I'm going to get a degree, and I'm going to get the job that's going to make me happy.
I think, though, that I agree with you, but I think that this article was talking about, like...
So what I'm getting around to...
families that were paying for their children to go to school, probably...
Oh, you think it's from the parent standpoint?
Yes, this is from the parent standpoint. The parents are pulling out money or probably refinance the home.
Well, I can flip it. It's the parents that are sending their kids to college because they believe that that's going to be the answer, as opposed... I went to a lemonade stand yesterday.
Lemonade?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I bought a lemonade.
Yeah.
For $5. And I told...
$5?
Well, it was $1. I gave her $5. It was $1. I gave her $5. I told the girl selling the lemonade, I said, the most important skill you can ever learn in your life is sales. I don't care what your teachers tell you, it's going to be sales skills. So the parents, instead of having the tough conversation with, little Johnny and Sally and whoever, instead of having the tough conversation saying, hey, learn sales, learn how to sell yourself no matter what you want.
You did it for them? You did it for them?
I did it for the little lemonade stand girl.
Awesome. So maybe they should give you the money back.
But these parents are not having the tough conversation. They're saying, hey, let's take the easy way out. Let's go into debt because that's the American way.
Well, I think
let's have more debt, send them to college, right?
Yes.
And then what are they doing? They're putting themselves behind.
Well, I think there's lots of situations, and we could speculate, so we're blue in the face, because I think, though, a lot of parents, though, too, didn't go to college, and obviously they're hitting sort of a tough time, so they think that maybe their child 100%. Needs to go a different route in order to be more successful than they were.
They want to break the pattern. They think that that's
yeah,
what
I mean,
the
I think that
answer
parents,
is.
I'm a parent, you're a parent. I mean, you always want the best for your kids. So, again, and you even said it on the
I'll
trip.
be a hypocritical parent. I'll probably send Stella to some fancy school.
Right. She'll be going off to Brown or something. And
Brown?
I don't know.
Brown.
No?
You said Brown.
Brown?
Come on.
I'm saying Brown. I don't know.
Come on.
But anyway, so I think it's interesting. I think it's super scary. I think it's probably pretty accurate. I don't know that it's necessarily a racket. I know that you think college is a racket, so maybe it turns it into a racket.
Struggling households became financially overextended and 2.172 times more likely to experience the foreclosure than homeowners without college-age children. So the kids are putting the parents in the foreclosure.
I tell you, man, kids
are a racket.
Kids are
the racket.
I mean, you saw one of my kids looping around this podcast this time. Such a racket.
Nate Dogg's not a racket. All right, racket number 2. The average home will get 13.3% larger in the next 20 years. You know that there's a lot of people coming to you right now saying downsize.
Yeah. Well, downsize. Or I don't want that McMansion anymore. And it's funny because we did talk about it in one of the earlier rackets. We were talking about the fact that right now buyers are kind of wanting something a little smaller, maybe around the 2,000 to 2,500 square foot. They don't really want the 35 to 4,000. But here it is. I mean, you said it on the racket one time before that people are going to start living together. They're going to start working out of their homes. They're going to need to start having larger properties. And here it is, 13.3% larger in the next 20 years.
I think we're going to be able to do so much stuff with technology in 20 years.
Inman stole it from you.
Inman
You're welcome, Inman.
Inman, because they're watching the Rackets in the road.
Yes, they knew it.
I think because we're going to have so much technology in our home, we're going to want bigger spaces because we're going to spend more time at home.
Right.
It'll be interesting to see how that plays out for me. But I do believe.
What does that mean? Because like you don't want to live with your like other family?
Huh?
What do you mean?
It'll be I'm never at home, so it'll be interesting to see how that plays out for me.
Okay.
You know, because I'm not home now. So now if people are spending more time at home, you know.
Are you stuck at home?
Am I home or am I in somebody else's home? I don't know. We'll see how that goes.
Wow.
I'll be home. I'm coming home. 10 p.m. No, you know what I do believe, whether it's in 20 years or now, people want more functional layouts, right? They want better use of the space. The classic colonial that's 4-bed, 2.5 bath, that's certainly, really popular in Connecticut, right? Those are not functional homes.
Well, it's funny because you're seeing more and more people putting like their pool tables in their dining rooms.
Right.
Because that to them is much more functional.
Because they don't want it in their basement.
Right.
So, and that dining room, by the way, was, if you have the colonial where the back side of the house is actually open living space where you have kitchen open to some type of living room area, right? And then you have a sitting room and a dining room and the 2 front rooms, and then you have your 4 bedrooms upstairs and your bathrooms, as well. Those 2 front rooms, the sitting room and the dining room in the front of that colonial, are never used.
Never touched. Right.
Not at all.
Never. Right. So again, like you're seeing more and more. Like I've seen 2 homes just recently, and was an open house yesterday. They're like, oh, I don't need a dining room. I'm gonna put my pool table in here. And I'm like, you wouldn't be the first person to say that.
So you could take that 2,000 square feet and just make it more functional and get the use out of the whole space. So what I do know is a Racket, and here's the Racket. They're saying here that by 2036, an American family will own the 13.3% bigger home and a 19% smaller yard. I think people will trend to smaller yards. I do believe that. I think people are going to move quicker, all of that. But a $305,000 single family house. So maybe 20 years it's only going to pop from 250 to 300. I think it'll be bigger than that.
I hope it's bigger than that.
I think that's average. I think that's a Racket. I think that this is the total Racket. Right now they're saying the average lot cost. Did you catch this, Nicole?
I didn't.
The average lot was 31,000 square feet, costing $19,000.
Huh.
In 2026, the average lot's going to shrink to 28,000 square feet, but the price is going to stay steady at 19,000. If you can find a lot for 19,000, let me know about them.
Buy the whole subdivision. Take it on.
That's not happening in Connecticut. That's not our price point.
No
in
way. Well, I guess the other problem here too is in Connecticut. Well, maybe we could just really speak to the towns we know. I mean, you need much larger building lots to even build a property.
That's
going to
change in Connecticut. I already see it changing in a couple towns that we work in, because you can't continue to do that. It's so hard on builders and landowners to get any profit if you continue to do this. So I think that's going to change.
Right.
But yeah, they've got to be talking about these mega 1,000 lot subdivisions where someone's like, okay, I'll come in and I'll buy each lot for $15,000.
Well, in all honesty though too, I mean, they've got to be PUDs of some sort too, where it's like an association and everyone's sharing and mowing and you don't really own it.
That seems like a total racket. If they're selling lots for $19,000 in your marketplace,
snag them.
Drop us a comment too. I'd love to hear about where that is. All right, Racket number 3, HGTV just won a big bid.
Winner.
On the Brady Bunch house.
Outbidding Lance Bass, which is causing a little bit of a ruckus, although an update just a few days ago. It sounds like HGTV is going to be bringing in Lance Bass into the show that's going to be using the Brady Bunch house. So I guess at this point we just have to wait and see what happens.
So who's like involved with it? Like who's going to be the HD? Are they bringing in
I'm not so certain.
Stars,
they're
like
not.
For a little one-off,
obviously,
Chip and Joanna,
obviously they're bringing Lance Bass in. I mean, it's almost like it was perfectly planned. But Lance was a little upset because he got outbid. So he got verbal acceptance. He got verbal acceptance that he got the house. He actually tweeted it on Twitter that he got the house, like really excited about it. And then not more than I think it was 24 hours later, he got the call that he lost the property, and he later found out that HGTV got it.
If you were renovating the Brady Bunch, would you just completely gut the thing down to its studs because it's pretty ugly? Or would you go like old school style and try to give it that Brady Bunch feel?
I would try. Or would
you just let social media vote on it?
Well, I would let social media vote on it, but that's just me. I would obviously try to keep it the way that it is, but like just kick it up a notch.
Modernize it.
Yeah, for sure.
You would try to like like almost like when you freeze somebody's body. What is that called? What is that called?
Oh, we were talking about that. Remember on our trip back, the guy was talking about taxidermy, like stuffing your animals.
Yes. That's what you would want to do with this house? Frozen in time?
I wouldn't necessarily want to keep it the same exact way. But you have to keep some of the elements. Like I don't mind the stairway going up and all that fun stuff. But
it's
I think it's pretty
$1.85
cool.
million. It sounds like it's a good location.
Yeah, I mean, holy crow. It's not very large. I feel like we have to just, like, can you just say hi at least? Can you say hi to our people? No? Hi. There you go. Okay. Jeepers creepers. The guy just keeps walking back and forth like he owns the place.
Well, he's going to take this show over
Getting
pretty
drinks
soon.
for himself and not for us.
So, I don't know. I don't think it's a racket, obviously, that this guy got outbid. That's the game, Lance.
Well, that's just it. Maybe you shouldn't tweet until you, like, it's not done till it's signed,
That's
buddy.
a great lesson. Like, contractors, builders, developers, investors.
Make sure it's signed. Make
get
sure it's signed and
the
get your
deal
check
signed.
over. And then you can tweet about it. You could tweet all day long.
Or keep it a mystery. Hey, closing a deal right now. Like, you don't have to necessarily tell everyone what the
Ooh,
deal
you
is.
can even give like a storyline, like do like a little song bit from it.
It's never over till it's over.
For sure.
And this podcast, by the way, is over. So, really appreciated everything today. I'm really happy about this podcast.
And Nate Dogg over
really
here.
Appreciate the guest appearance by Nate.
Can you just at least say bye,
Nate,
everybody?
Bye.
You're the second ever guest on The Real Word. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.